Did you know that a diamond begins to form more than 150 kilometers beneath the Earth's surface and takes millions of years before it reaches your hands?
Today, we dive into the fascinating process where a diamond is born, from deep within the Earth to its final form. Subscribe and come along with us. Let's go.
Phase 1. Origin and formation of the diamond. The process of diamond formation begins long before any human intervention. Its origin lies deep within the planet, more than 150 kilometers beneath the Earth's surface, in a region known as the upper mantle. There, pure carbon is subjected for millions of years to extreme conditions of pressure and temperature that do not exist in any other natural environment accessible to humans. In this zone of the mantle, temperatures easily exceed 1,000 degrees Celsius, while pressure reaches levels capable of compressing carbon atoms and forcing them to reorganize into an extremely compact crystalline structure. This atomic reorganization is the key. It is what transforms ordinary carbon into diamond, the hardest natural material known. The balance between pressure and temperature is absolutely critical. If either of these variables deviates even slightly, carbon does not transform into diamond, but into graphite, a soft and opaque form of the same chemical element. For this reason, every diamond is the result of a perfect combination of geological conditions maintained in a stable way over periods that can exceed 1 billion years. Once formed, the diamond does not immediately appear on the surface. It remains trapped in the mantle until a violent geological phenomenon comes into play: deep volcanic eruptions. These eruptions are not like ordinary ones. They originate at great depth and generate a special type of magma that rises at high speed, carrying with it fragments of the mantle that contain diamonds inside. This magma solidifies upon reaching the surface, forming a rock called kimberlite. Inside it, diamonds remain encapsulated, protected for millions of years, waiting to be discovered and extracted by the modern mining industry. Phase 2. Mining extraction. Once kimberlite deposits are identified through advanced geological studies, the industrial extraction phase begins. This stage takes place mainly in large open-pit mines, or in some cases, in deep underground mines. The process begins with massive drilling carried out by heavy machinery. Industrial drills capable of opening holes more than 100 meters deep into the rock are used. These holes are distributed according to precisely calculated patterns to ensure efficient fragmentation of the terrain without damaging the diamonds. Controlled power explosives are placed inside the drill holes. The charge cannot be excessive, since an overly violent detonation could fracture the diamond crystals. It also cannot be insufficient, because the rock would not break properly. The detonation is adjusted with extreme precision. After the explosion, huge blocks of kimberlite are fragmented and exposed. At this point, large-capacity mining trucks come into operation, capable of transporting dozens of tons of rock in each trip. All this material is transported from the mining phase to nearby processing plants. Although visually kimberlite appears to be a gray, worthless rock, each load can contain thousands of microscopic diamonds. The difficulty lies in the fact that diamond concentration is extremely low. On average, only a few grams per ton of extracted rock. Phase 3. Crushing and diamond separation. Once at the processing plant, the kimberlite enters an intensive industrial process designed to release the diamonds trapped inside it. Everything begins with the mechanical crushing of the rock. Large jaw crushers and industrial mills reduce the blocks of kimberlite into progressively smaller fragments. The goal is not to pulverize the material completely, but to break the rock enough to release the crystals without damaging them. After crushing, the material passes through washing and size classification systems. Water currents, vibrating screens, and separation channels are used to remove lighter fragments and concentrate the denser particles, where diamonds are more likely to be found. In later stages, advanced chemical and physical processes are employed. Some systems use solutions that dissolve the remaining rock without affecting the diamond, since it is chemically inert to most reagents. Other methods take advantage of the diamond's high density or its response to electromagnetic fields. Finally, the concentrated material passes through separation tables and optical systems that detect the characteristic shine of diamonds. Cameras and sensors identify the crystals and automatically separate them from the rest of the material. At the end of this phase, only rough diamonds remain, still without a defined shape. Phase 4. Deep cleaning and classification. The rough diamonds obtained at the mining plant still retain microscopic traces of dust, mud, and adhered minerals. Therefore, they undergo a deep cleaning process before any further handling. This cleaning is carried out using industrial washing systems that combine high-pressure water, ultrasonic waves, and in some cases, specific chemical solutions. The goal is to remove any impurity without altering the surface of the crystal. Once cleaned, the diamonds go through initial classification. At this stage, basic characteristics such as approximate size, natural shape, transparency, and visible inclusions are evaluated, although their final value is not yet defined. This classification makes it possible to separate diamonds with geological potential from those intended for industrial uses. The process combines technology and human expertise. X-ray and laser scanning systems allow the interior of the diamond to be analyzed without cutting it, identifying internal fractures or opaque zones. At the same time, specialized gemologists carry out a detailed visual inspection. Based on these analyses, the diamonds are grouped into homogeneous batches. This organization is key for the next stage, as it defines which stones will go on to high-precision cutting and which will be used in technical applications such as cutting or drilling tools. Phase 5. Cutting the rough diamond. Cutting is one of the most delicate and decisive phases of the entire process. Here, the final shape of the diamond is defined and, to a large extent, its commercial value. A single mistake can drastically reduce the price of a stone. Before any physical cutting is performed, each diamond is analyzed using three-dimensional modeling software. These systems create a complete image of the crystal and calculate possible cutting options to maximize size, brilliance, and symmetry while minimizing material loss. Once the cutting plan is defined, the diamond is divided into more manageable parts. This is done using ultra-precision lasers or special saws coated with diamond powder. The orientation of the cut is critical, since diamonds have natural cleavage planes. The goal of this stage is not only to separate or divide the stone into different parts, but to prepare with maximum precision the surfaces that will allow efficient and controlled polishing in the next phase. Each cut is carefully planned to facilitate the creation of well-defined facets and to ensure that the internal structure of the diamond responds properly to subsequent work. To achieve this, extremely strict tolerances are followed, where even deviations of fractions of a millimeter can have a significant impact on the final result. A poorly oriented cut can cause unnecessary material loss, affect the symmetry of the gem, or reduce its ability to reflect light evenly. For this reason, every decision is made based on prior studies of the crystal, considering its natural shape, cleavage planes, and the internal distribution of possible inclusions. During the process, high-precision tools such as lasers and digital guidance systems are used to execute cuts with consistent accuracy. Even so, human supervision remains essential, as specialized operators adjust parameters in real time to ensure that each surface is aligned as planned. This combination of advanced technology and expert control ensures that the diamond maintains its structural integrity and is properly prepared for polishing, where its brilliance and value will finally be defined. Phase 6. Polishing and creation of facets. Once the cutting stage is completed, the diamonds enter the polishing process, a key phase in which the stone begins to display the brilliance and appearance that make it recognizable at first glance. Although the diamond already has a defined shape, it still presents dull surfaces and unworked edges. Polishing is responsible for transforming this rough crystal into a gem capable of reflecting light with intensity and precision. This process is based on the creation of facets, which are small, flat faces strategically distributed over the surface of the diamond. Each facet acts like a microscopic mirror that directs light into the stone and returns it outward in the form of flashes. The arrangement, number, and angle of these facets directly influence the diamond's level of brilliance, fire, and sparkle. Polishing is carried out using high-speed rotating discs, known as polishing wheels, which are coated with diamond powder. Since diamond is the hardest natural material that exists, it can only be worn down by another diamond. For this reason, extremely fine diamond powder is used as the main abrasive. During the process, the stone is fixed in special holders that allow precise control of pressure, angle, and contact time with the disc. Each facet is polished individually and at a previously calculated angle. These angles are not chosen at random, but follow optical models that determine how light will behave inside the diamond. A minimal variation can cause light to escape through the sides instead of being reflected upward, significantly reducing the gem's brilliance. Polishing requires a constant combination of technology and human skill, while machines ensure stability and precision. These specialized operators supervise the entire process, adjusting parameters and correcting deviations in real time. In many cases, the polisher's experience is decisive in achieving an optimal result. Depending on the size, hardness, and complexity of the design, polishing a single diamond can take anywhere from several hours to several days of continuous work. At the end of this phase, the stone already has its facets perfectly defined, a smooth surface, and intense brilliance, and is ready to move on to final evaluation and definitive classification. Phase 7. Evaluation, certification, and destination. In the final stage of the process, the already polished diamonds undergo a thorough technical evaluation that defines their value and final destination. This control is one of the strictest in the entire industry, since even the smallest imperfection can significantly alter a stone's classification. Certified gemologists analyze each diamond individually using high-precision loops, specialized microscopes, and controlled lighting systems that make it possible to observe details invisible to the naked eye. During this review, internal inclusions, microfractures, irregularities in the facets, and possible polishing defects are sought. In addition to visual analysis, many stones are examined with advanced equipment such as optical scanners and digital measurement devices that ensure objective and repeatable evaluation. The final valuation is based on the international 4 Cs system: cut, which determines how the stone reflects light; clarity, which measures the presence of internal or external imperfections; color, and which ranges from the purest white to slight yellowish or bluish tones; and carat, which indicates the exact weight of the diamond. The combination of these 4 factors defines the commercial category of each piece. Diamonds that reach the highest levels in this evaluation are reserved for luxury jewelry, where they will be used in rings, necklaces, and exclusive high-value pieces. Those that do not meet the most demanding gemological standards but retain their physical properties are destined for industrial uses, such as cutting tools, drilling, or high-precision polishing. Before reaching the market, many diamonds pass through independent certification laboratories that confirm their authenticity and issue official documents. These certificates accompany the stone throughout its entire commercial life and guarantee its origin, on the quality and technical characteristics.
And this is how the diamond process ends. If you enjoyed it, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for more amazing processes.